Hello and welcome to Empowered Learning. This video will be about how to construct a confidence interval for a population variance as well as a population standard deviation for a sample of data. And now the purpose of us actually doing or constructing a confidence interval is to be able to estimate what a population variance would be or a population standard deviation would be based upon the data that we actually take from the population. In other words, the sample that we take from the population. So we're using a sample, information about a sample to be able to estimate information about an entire population. So we start off by first off noticing that our C level, or our confidence level number, is 0.95, which means that we want to construct this confidence interval within 95% confidence. Okay, the S stands for the sample standard deviation, and the N is the number of elements in our sample, or the sample size. And so that we see that since N is equal to 16, that means that the sample size that we have, we're not considering it to be approximated to normal distribution. So because of that, we actually need to do this chi-squared distribution in order to figure out what the confidence interval is going to be. But we're going to do it with technology and do it real fast. Okay, so to get this set up, first thing that we need to do is click on Stat, and then afterwards go to Variance Stats. Since the first thing that we're trying to do is find population variance, we go to One Sample, and then after that we're going to go to With Summary, since we're given information about the sample standard deviation and the sample size. And so with that, we notice that our sample standard deviation is 32. If we, in other words, that's S squared will be our sample variance. So we want to just take 32 and square it, and when we do that, we get 1024. For our sample size, we know that that's 16. And then, of course, here we want a confidence interval of 0.95. So if we have that and just click Compute, then you see here, this is what we get. So we get our degrees of freedom, which is 15. The lower end is 558.7813, and higher end is 2,452.8365. And so now what we need to do is, if we want to find out what our population, let me see here. Okay, yeah, so if we want to find out what our confidence interval is going to be for our standard deviation, not our population deviation, standard deviation. If we do that, then we just need to take the square root of these numbers here. So if we take the square root of 558.7813, we get 23.6385537. That's what a calculator gives me there. And on the upper end, if we do the square root of 2,452.8365, we end up getting 49.5261137. Okay, and of course, we just keep on going to those numbers. And so this should be what our confidence interval would be for our population standard deviation right here. And this is what our confidence interval would be for our population variance.